fuck you think we out here for? Fast cars, bad bitches, fast living. The fuck you think we out here? The fuck you think?
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy TM95, and we back with another episode of the BENDO. Yes, sir. So yeah, man, I hope my lions at home, y'all been good. I've been good. I had a crazy week, Hope you guys had a good week too, you know what I mean? So, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe on the More Muse Network. That's where you're going to find all our content. And then you can also follow me on IG at dinero_fellow. That's where you can get all my latest updates in terms of the BENDO and me personally, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, before we start with our topic, we usually get into our current affair news, you know what I mean? So I'm going to start with a little bit of that. So the first topic that I want to talk about in terms of that is the NHI bill that was passed by President Cyril Ramaphosa. So the NHI bill basically is a bill that was passed by him. So it actually gives the inclusivity of people that use public hospitals to actually now start using they can use their medical aids rather, or let me say their services in private vicinities as well. So I think in terms of the bill, what I think about it, I think it's a good thing, you know what I mean? Because at least it gives people that are less advantaged or disadvantaged rather to go have access to medical care at better facilities, you know what I mean? So I think that's the positive thing about it, this bill. And then the negative impacts about it, I think it would be unfair. Like, for example, it would be I read a story of some Zimbabwean lady that jumped the border illegally to come to our country and to have access to all these medical services. So for me, it's unfair for someone that's coming from another country illegally to get the same access to medical service, unlike someone that's a South African that is underprivileged in terms of things like infrastructure, places like Eastern Cape where they have less infrastructure, and for them to access these kind of facilities, I think it's unfair to prioritize someone that's from another country and, you know what I mean, they get access to medical services, whereas someone from our country is not prioritized, you know what I mean? So I think the government also needs to look into that, you know what I mean? So moving right along, we have Ditebogo Phalane. So Ditebogo Phalane is the boy that was shot in an hijacking that happened in Sosha a couple of weeks ago. So personally, I think those guys, what they did to that family especially is words can't describe it, because I understand crime is rife in our country, you know what I mean? But for you to shoot a 5-year-old innocent boy in this whole scenario is absolutely shocking to me. And I think us men in our country, we need to do better, you know what I mean? Which is why I want to talk about the topic I want to talk about is kind of emphasize on why we need to do better. Because this thing of just promoting violence in jail and letting it spiral out of hand is not on. It's really not on, especially if we want to have a democratic change in our country, you know what I mean? I think the way we need to go as men, we need to change the way we think, our perspective into other things, you know what I mean? So moving right along, we have the Kendrick versus Drake beef, you know what I mean? Hey, that's quite an interesting beef, I must say, you know what I mean? So basically how the beef started is there was a song Drake dropped, I think in one of his previous EPs, where he talks about Kendrick's family. I think that's where the beef kind of stems from. So Kendrick then dropped a diss song called Euphoria, and then that's where the whole beef kind of escalated, they took it to another level. So now after that drop, and then Drake came up with another song. It's a diss track called Family Matters, and I think that's where the beef escalated, because after that a series of diss track dropped afterwards, you know what I mean? And my personal opinion about this beef is I think it's good for the culture, you know what I mean? Because it, at least what I saw in terms of the previous beefs that have happened, is at least there was engagement between the fans and the artist, you know what I mean? So that's what I liked for the culture, you know what I mean? However, the way Drake went about it, I think he should have chosen another way to go about it, especially like if you go and attack someone's family, you know what I mean? I think you should stand up for what you yeah, I think he should have had another approach in terms of how he could have addressed this beef, you know what I mean?
Okay, but what about the gunshots that were at Drake's house?
But then the gunshots. So the gunshots, they were so were they from people from Kendrick's team, or was it generally just haters? You know,
It happened at the period of the beef, so automatically we are driven towards the fact that it's because of that,
because of the shots.
because of the beef. That's why I imagine that
Yeah.
they're trying to get back at him by firing shots at his house.
I understand that, but what I'm saying to you is, can we say that it's from people that are for Kendrick, or can we just say that it's people that always had an agenda against Drake? You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying to you, I think there's a way they could have handled the beef instead of it just going violent and with gunshots. You know what I mean? I think there's a way they could have handled it. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, that was it for our current topic, current affair news rather. So moving right along, we're gonna get into our topic of the day, and that is the importance of valuing yourself and self-love. You know what I mean? So first of all, gents, we need to value ourselves. I mean, self-love is very important for an individual. You know, we often come across situations where, especially in our country with women, you know what I mean, where you find men are always complaining about women. It could be about anything, but we always find ourselves as men. We find ourselves in situations where, you know, we are vulnerable and we don't know how to react, or let me say our emotional intelligence when it comes to certain things, they're not the way we're supposed to act. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is we need to value ourselves. You know what I mean? Self-love is very important, guys. Like, focus on yourself. It's very important to focus on yourself so that when you pass on love to someone else, it's easier for them to love you back because you're already loving yourself that much. You know what I mean? So you need to invest yourself. You need to invest more into the self-development of yourself. You know what I mean? Hence, I said in the previous episode, you could read books. You know what I mean? Just seek knowledge. Always seek knowledge. Always seek knowledge, guys. And just promote self-love and just have value in yourself. You know what I mean?
So are you saying women are the problem?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, it all starts with us having self-love. That's where it starts. Because I think if you don't love yourself, how are you going to love the next person next to you? That even goes for your mom. You know what I mean? So it all starts with self-love and the importance of valuing yourself, gents. You know what I mean? So always invest in yourself. And then value in relationships. Hence, I'm saying, like, before you get into a relationship, you need to already, like, love yourself to the point where you are even selfish of the love that you have for yourself, so that when you give it to the other person, they can reciprocate it. They can actually feel the love that you're giving back. You know what I mean? Because once it happens, when arguments or fallouts happen, usually men, like, they react violently. You know what I mean? And with the GBV stats that we have, or our country rather, you know what I mean, the situations that we have, it has a bad impression. It makes us look bad, you know what I mean, as gents, to say, okay, I saw my friend slapping my the ex-girlfriend because of, you know what I mean, he wasn't valuing himself, or there was things that she was doing to him that, you know what I mean, he didn't agree against. He was in agreement, you know what I mean. So we need to have that self-love amongst ourselves, so that when you go into a relationship, yes, I know there's issues, there's problems and so forth, but if you have self-love, it will be easier to tackle those challenges that you are faced in life and in relationships as well. You know what I mean? And number two, what I want to say, if you get into a relationship, gents, if you feel like you are not healed, or if you feel like the person that you're trying to show love to is not reciprocating that energy, this is where value comes. Always tell, like, always leave. Like, you be honest and be transparent. Tell the person that, yo, me and you are not working. I think it's best that we go our separate ways. That value also is important in that sense, because now it's also, not only are you respecting yourself, but you're respecting the other person as well, because it also, what I'm trying to say is, it will allow you to avoid a lot of issues. You know what I mean?
Does that come before or after trying to work on the issue?
Well, obviously you need to try first, right? You need to try first, and then obviously if things don't work out, that's where we have to go our separate ways. Because I know men have this thing of just bottling things inside, and then there's gonna be a point where we snap, and then it leads to this innocent child being raped or murdered or whatever the case. You know what I mean? So that's not what we want to do as men, especially like new generation leaders. You know what I mean? That's not what we want to do as men. So it's very important to always leave, guys, if you don't feel like something is working out for you. You know what I mean? And that also goes for even at work, friends, family. You know what I mean? Like, I know in the workplace, especially like in the hierarchy, where the people with top level management, they like to be discriminative and abusive towards the people that are in the lower hierarchies. So again, if you feel like you're being abused in the workplace, there's platforms like ours that you can come and speak to, or even if you don't come to the platform, you can personally reach out to, you know what I mean, other men, you know, like myself. You know what I mean? So places like that as well, it's also important to realize your value there, because, you know, your work performance your work performance will also have an effect on the outcomes of the company. You know what I mean? Because when you're in a company environment, we have to work as a team. So if you feel there's discrepancies in the company that affect the performance, you know, that means there's a problem. And also that also shows you how the company values you and how important you are to a company. So you also need to apply value and self-love in the workplace as well. You know what I mean? If you love your job, then make sure you do it 100% with that love and passion. If you feel like you're doing this job because you're trying to make ends meet or put bread on the table, then yeah, I guess you can do that, but then is it really gonna be working for you personally? Is it gonna make you more happier because you're providing for your family? Or, you know what I mean? So you need to understand that factor, that you need to value yourself wherever you go, even if it's in the workplace. You know what I mean? So with that being said, my niggas, I would just also like to say, for us, gents, we need to do better as a whole. You know what I mean? Considering all the issues that affect us, you know, like GBV, like the rape and murder that we're doing, gents, is really not on in our country. And we need like serious interventions, guys. We need serious interventions to deal with these type of issues, because it's not nice seeing my cousins or someone that I know that's close to me with a blue eye. And you know what I mean? It really is, it gives a bad impression to us gents as a whole, as a country. So this platform is also one venture that we can be able to fix such issues. You know what I mean? So please, guys, we need to do better. We really need to do much better, you know what I mean, in terms of how we interact with society, especially women, because women are very important in our lives. I mean, women, you know, they carry birth. I mean, the same child that you want to grow up in a positive manner are because of women, you know what I mean? So we need to value our women just as much as how you would want to value yourself as an individual. You know what I mean? So, gents, we need to do better, man. We really seriously need to do better, you know. But yeah, with that being said, man, I think this episode was one of importance to me because I think I needed to say what I needed to say for this particular episode, you know what I mean? So I hope back at home or wherever you are, gents, you can take some of the lessons or teachings, rather, if I may put it that way. You know, I hope you could take it with you in the future. And yeah, let's try and do better, whatever it is, whatever that we're going through. You know, let's promote opening up. Let's encourage to have conversations with. It doesn't even have to be us gents. You know, it could be someone, a female counterpart that you trust with all your might. You know what I mean? Let's just promote being open. Let's just promote having a conversation. Let's just promote, you know, positive vibes. You know what I mean? And let's try and make this world a better place. You know, I understand, you know, there's people that always are gonna be in our way, and there's always gonna be distractions, you know what I mean? But let's just try and promote and be better, guys. This thing of us killing each other and killing women and children is really not on, you know what I mean? So with that being said, I hope you guys take these preachings and teachings, rather, you know, take them into consideration, and yeah, let's just do better, you know what I mean? So with that being said, before I leave, ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to shout out all the people that made this podcast made this podcast be what it is today, you know what I mean? So first and foremost, like I said, I would like to thank Mr. J Mind Studios, you know what I mean? So the facilities that we are right now, you know, they're provided by him, you know what I mean? So also, if you guys want to drop your hits, you know what I mean, you should come to J Mind Studios. You know, he's got quality sound, quality everything, you know what I mean? So make sure you check out J Mind Studios. And then another person I'd like to thank is Mr. Nova Nation, Mr. King Nova, you know what I mean, the guy behind the cameras, you know. So without him, you know, there would be no visuals. You wouldn't be seeing this cute self, my cute self, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, big shout out to you, man, and let's take this to the top, and many endeavors, many ventures, rather, you know what I mean? I think we should take this to the top, and yeah, many more blessings. And last but not least, I'd like to thank Miss Mona Lisa herself, Miss Balisa Pajo, you know, the producer, the woman behind the More Muse podcast and the network, you know what I mean? So I appreciate her for giving me this opportunity, you know what I mean? I'm also grateful to be sharing this platform with you guys, you know what I mean? If it wasn't for her, there wouldn't be such a platform so that we can be open as gents and have a conversation about real issues and what we go through, you know what I mean? So big shout out to her for this one. And then also I'd like to thank everyone that supported all brands, you know, the Mona Lisa brand, Nova Nation, J Mind Studios, myself, you know, all those that have supported us. Like, we really appreciate it, and we just continue, we just hope that you continue giving us all the support. And you know what I mean, let's just spread the movement so that we can make it international, you know what I mean? So big shout out to everyone, you know what I mean? And last but not least, I like to shout out Missing Ngobile Mahlangu, you know, big shout out to her. She's a big mentor in my life. She's like a big sister in my life, you know what I mean? So big shout out to her, you know. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's a wrap for today's episode. Please check out the More Muse Network. As I said, do like, comment, and subscribe so that you don't miss all the episodes that we're going to be bringing you on the Bendo, man. And yeah, man, it's been nice, you know, with your boy TM95, Mr. Keep It Real 24/7 365. Yes, sir. And I'm outie. Peace.
Fuck you think we out here for? Fast cars, bad bitches, fast living. The fuck you think we out here? The fuck you think we out here for? Here for? Here for? The fuck you think we out here for? The fuck you think we out here? The fuck you think we out here for?